In this video, we're going to talk about the quick fixes and how that's not the answer for long-term progress. What you actually need is to develop your critical thinking. This is where the real long-term progress comes from. And for the title I put down, you don't need another adjustment or epidural injection or all these other quick fixes, because that's what clients have come to me with, just picking out things that I know you're suffering with, or some of you are suffering with. I've had clients who've got the epidural injections, still didn't get rid of the back pain. I've got back surgeries, still didn't get rid of the back pain. Another person starting actually starting Thursday, tomorrow, who had back surgery as well. That didn't solve the issue. So a lot of those things, they're treating the hardware but not the software. Okay, so they're not aiming for the root cause of the problem. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and why the quick fixes aren't the answer. It's not what you're looking for. It's a bit of an illusion, to be honest. So I guess starting off, look, why listen to me? I've been there for 10 years. I've gone to the physio, the osteopaths, the chiropractors, the doctors, tried all these things, tried all the quick fixes. Didn't work. What was the end result? Just given loads of diagnosis, told to settle, give up jiu-jitsu and things I love at 25. So look, if that stuff is working for you, if the quick fix stuff, you've done it and you're feeling amazing, you're able to do the sports you want to do, cool, you're winning. You don't need to watch this video, but reality is, for a lot of people, same as myself, same as clients I have, for a lot of you guys following the content as well, it's not the case for you. Okay, so I'm going to be speaking to you guys. So yeah, for myself, I had 10 years of that stuff, wasn't working, but now since overcoming it, that this is how it's become my career, my passion to help others come through the same process. So like the motto I follow now, and I put it out on Instagram, is follow the results. That's the way I think of it, like through my own journey, because I used to think like follow doctors or follow whoever has the best degree, but that didn't work for me for 10 years. The person that actually helped me the best after that, they didn't have a degree on the body, and lots of other coaches I've gone to, obviously they have different knowledge and information, but again, it was the results I followed now. So that's a big thing I tell everyone. I say follow the results over degrees, doctors, over anything else. Because I'm not saying follow Mark McCourt. Again, I'm saying follow the results. If you see results from me and clients that you want, cool, follow me. But yeah, follow the results. That's when I started to get progress with mobility, with strength, with business, with everything in my life, to be honest. Simple analogy here. If I wanted to be a millionaire, and I had two options. There's a 4-year course on how to be a millionaire, probably taught by someone who's not a millionaire, or go to Bob down the road who has 5 cars out the front and 3 houses in Marbella. The old me would go to the course. Like me now, it's going down to Bob every day of the week, learning from him, learning from the experience, learning from the, following the results of what I can see there from Bob. So I suppose, yeah, just to give you a little insight into some stories that I have thinking back, over my journey. This is the same topic that I've wrote on this week's newsletter, so I'll link it below as well if you want to go into it in a lot more detail. I've wrote it out in loads of detail what I'm going to talk about here, so you can read the newsletter if you want more info, but I'll dip into the story that I talked about there. I suppose just to show you guys that I'm not up here on some ivory tower, I wasn't always mobile, I suffered 10 years of chronic pains and injuries, that's where the passion is coming from. So yeah, like just it was an example of trying different kind of quick fixes. I suppose this example now was just YouTube videos. That's another thing a lot of people say is like, oh, I've tried loads of YouTube videos about mobility, but tiny progress here and there, but it's not really working. I've done that as well. We're just trying it, and I will watch them YouTube videos. So that's what I was doing. I was doing some back stretch or some back movement up in my landing at home, and lo and behold, pulled a muscle in my back again. I knew nothing about the body then, but yeah, pulled another muscle in my back again. I remember I was kind of hunched over then, and I couldn't straighton up, or else I was getting pain, like in my upper back. And back then didn't know anything about pain, thought I'd fucked myself up again, so I was really worried and scared about it, and just going into the mirror, and I looked like a hunchback in Notre Dame, leaned over, couldn't straighten my back, and this has happened countless times, and then the frustration and stuff kicks in. Then mom's calling me down for dinner. What age was I now? Was I 20 or something? I can't remember. I think I would have been home for the weekend. But yeah, mom called me down for dinner. Now I'm just getting annoyed and pissed off. Like I don't have to go down and tell her again what's happened. Like, because this is the stuff would get back pain after matches, or just this kind of random stuff would happen. But then of course you have to go down, and I'm upset and annoyed. Then so I'm not really talking, and then she can obviously see that and is asking me, and I'm telling her, like nearly trying not to start crying, because stuff was just so frustrating at that stage, going on for for years and feeling lost. Like, I've no clue. Like, it's your own body, but it's like an alien to you. You don't understand anything about it or why it's working, why these things are happening. Like, and yeah, then she called the physio down the road. He'd come up, have a look at me. Gave me a muscle relaxing pill and just kind of did a few checks and stuff. He was like, yeah, it's no, you might have just strained your muscle there in your back or whatever. It's fine. It's no big deal. And even just knowing that I didn't do anything bad, didn't do something to my back or have a bulging disc now or something, instantly the pain was a lot less and I could actually move a bit more. And I was like, oh Jesus, you idiot, Mark, like making a big fuss over nothing really. But like, some people watching this who don't have chronic pains are like, that's a bit silly, like what is he on about? But for the ones who do have chronic pains and know exactly what I'm talking about, like these type of things, when you're in the moment, you're so worried about it and you're so scared that you don't know what is happening. And then, once you come out the other side of some of these and you get a bit of reassurance and whatever, you're like, oh geez, I was a bit, overreacted there, but that's what happens, So you can see there, yeah, trying different quick fix stuff, it's not working. I'm in that loop, I call the loop the roundabout of injuries and average progress. That's all I was getting, just kept getting injured. Eventually couldn't do the stuff that I wanted to do and had to give them up. So look, a little example for myself there of not the good times, but yeah, so like going on to the problem then, so like the main problem is that we're just looking for those quick fixes, We're going to osteopaths, we're going to physios, we're going to chiropractors, we're going to doctors, we're trying stuff on YouTube, online, all this kind of stuff. We're never educating ourselves on how the human body actually works. We're not developing our critical thinking, which is the root of all of this. We need to develop critical thinking, start learning about the body, or else we're never going to get long-term progress in it. It's like I'm trying to drive a car. I don't even know anything about a car except it's red on the outside. I don't know what the gear stick does, what the pedals do, how to manage the car at all. How am I going to learn how to drive? So it's the same with the body. And then like, yeah, what did I say here? Hindsight is 20/20. Yeah, like looking back now, I know exactly what I should have been doing and what was the problem and why it wasn't working. But that's easy looking back now. But like to go from that, like giving up sports and activities that I love to do, being in chronic pains and stuff, the stuff I'm doing now 5 years later, like got up to the level of the front splits, back doing jiu-jitsu, doing handstand push-ups, nearly doing one arm chin-ups, like all this is just to show you guys, just inspiration, to show you what's possible. Like if I can come from there, same as place a lot of you are, like some clients are not as bad as that, some clients are even worse, it doesn't matter, like the starting points don't matter, it's the attitude and the approach, the critical thinking, the understanding, this is what's going to get you out of it. So moving on to the solution then, this is, like where the critical thinking is coming in, where we have to start addressing the root cause over the symptoms. We need to start understanding principles of the human body. This is where it all has to start, because if we don't know some really important principles of how the human body works, you're going to be fooled by anything. Like you'll think anything will work. The best marketing, this thing will fix you, I'll fix you, blah, 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 blah. If you don't know certain principles on the human body, you won't be able to go, oh, no, that's bullshit. That doesn't align with how the body works. Oh, that one does, yeah, that might help me. Like, you'll just try anything and everything, like myself, like a lot of people. And then, 10 years later, what you have to show for absolutely nothing and an empty bank account, So, this is where it has to start. And I'll just go through one of them today. This one principle, straight away, will already shatter the quick fixes and show you why it doesn't work. So, it's progressive overload. It's how the body adapts. I'll use an example of the gym to make full sense of it in a second, but it's progressive overload. So how the body works, to change it is you have to stress your body in certain ways, and then it adapts and changes. So you have the stress, that creates a certain adaptation. And you have to do that consistently if you want to keep adapting the way that you want. Okay, so that's strength training. That's what we do in the gym. Everybody knows for strength training, you need to stress your body in certain ways. Then when your body adapts and gets stronger, you stress it more and you keep going that way. And it has to be consistent over months, over years, if you want to get any sort of decent progress in the gym. Everyone's like, cool, makes sense. Then we switch over to mobility. And now for some reason, that principle of the body's out the fucking window. We just think, oh, I want to improve my mobility. Yeah, I'll just go to this guy and get a few manipulations or a rub or whatever, and he's going to fix me. How the hell does that make any sense? Like, Apply that to strength training. Oh yeah, I want to get stronger. I want to change my body and get stronger, just like I want to change my body and get more mobile. Yeah, I'll just go to the gym once and I'll go in and do a good session there and sure, look, yeah, I'll be strong for the rest of my life. Makes no fucking sense. And hopefully just by highlighting those two examples, you can just see like straight away that, yeah, actually that approach of the quick fix with mobility, it makes no sense at all in terms of how the human body works. But we just don't realize these things. Like I didn't realize it 5 years ago, because we don't look into it. We just believe what the experts are saying or the quick fixes, and we never think critically about it. And we can't do that until we know some principles of the human body. So you can see there straight away, that doesn't make any sense. You can't go and get a manipulation or go and get dry needling or go and get something and expect long-term change for the rest of your life in your body. That's not how the body works. If that was how it works, I go to the gym once, twice, or just go to the gym for a month and then I look like Arnold Schwarzenegger for the rest of my life. Like that doesn't make any sense. Your body's adapting and changing every day, so it's something just like the strength has to be consistent. So that's a huge thing already for mobility. Like this is just 1 point out of 100 you could pick, but straight away once I understood that, I was like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense as to how me going to the osteopath for 10 years in a row and him just cracking my hips on a table isn't making my hips more mobile. That's like, I want to get stronger biceps in the gym. I go to the gym for 10 years. I'm not even doing it myself. Someone's just lifting my arm with the weight in it. And I'm like, oh yeah, still don't think I'm getting any stronger. Like, it's the fucking same thing. I was going to the chiropractor. So hopefully that's making sense to you now. You need that. You need the critical thinking to see, okay, a principle of how the body changes and adapts. Progressive overload. I use it in the gym. Yeah, I understand. Has to be a smart training program. Has to be consistent over months and years. Then I'm going to get some decent strength progress. Exact same with mobility. There is no quick fix. The body doesn't work that way. So it has to be the same thing. Get a good training program. Know what you're doing to work on your limitations, and then it has to be consistent. Over months, over years. Just think of it like that. Your body is adapted and changed negatively to give you bad mobility. You can't just jump to the top again. You have to do the same thing. Start adapting positively now and go up this way over months and years. That's what I've done. That's what clients do. There is no overnight quick fix. If you keep chasing that, you're going to stay in that position. So yeah, we'll go on to some three takeaways then in terms of doing what we're talking about here, like trying to think critically about the body going forward, and then try to address the root causes rather than the symptoms. So first one, if you haven't got it, stop doing things that clearly aren't working. Stop doing things that clearly aren't working. This is what I tell younger Mark. Like, give something 3 to 6 months. Give something 3 to 6 months. Be consistent with it. Give it your all. If you're not seeing some sort of sustainable progress, I'm not saying a transformation, but some sort of sustainable progress going upwards, stop it. It's not working. Like, that's what annoys me, because for me, I did stuff for 10 years that wasn't working until I eventually kind of realized, like, what's doing the same thing for an 11th year or 12th year? That's not going to work, is it? I've given it fucking 10 years. So that's it. Like, don't do Einstein's definition of insanity, like trying the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That's why I'd say now, like 3-6 months, if it's not working, move on to something else. So that's the first point. Second point, develop the critical thinking. Like I'm saying, like this will be your most powerful weapon in life, to be honest. Like for mobility, yes, but then for business, for relationships, for strength training, for lots of other things, if you learn how to kind of step back and think critically about it and learn some principles, you're going to get so much better progress. Like when we don't think critically or able to kind of zoom out and look at the bigger picture, you're always going to be stuck in these little pockets of things that aren't actually making sense. Just like me working on going to the osteopath, thinking it's going to change my body, but I'm not using the principle of progressive overload to change my body. I could stay there for the rest of my life. It's not going to get me the progress that I want. I need to step back, get the big picture, think critically about it, and learn some principles if I want to make a change there. So I put down on the article, like, think of it like your armor against misinformation. Because that's what has to happen. There's so much information on Instagram, on YouTube, on everything, like thrown in your face, like this will fix you, 5 best fixes for knee pain, for back pain, blah, blah, blah. Like it's hammered at you. So unless you start to develop your critical thinking, that's your shield, that's your armor against the bullshit, so you can kind of see through that stuff and get through to the stuff that works. Then the final point, look, they're all kind of linked in together. But focus on learning the principles. Okay, so focus on learning the principles of the human body. This is where the long-term progress is going to come from. Don't focus on the methods, the exercise, like that manipulation. Oh, I saw that exercise, that was really fancy. Like me on the YouTube video, some new exercise, try it. You know, you need to focus on the principles first, okay? You know, same as learning anything. If you're learning an instrument, you don't just say, oh yeah, want to learn guitar, I really love this solo. You don't try and just start with the solo. Like, you have to learn the basics, the foundation, first of all, before you go into any of that. So yeah, don't focus on the methods, the exercises. That's what's pulling you in, and you're going to get stuck in those loops. You need to focus on learning the principles. That's where it's going to come from. And yeah, I put down there, just like, it's like hedging your bets. The principles of the human body aren't going to change. Progressive overload is going to be there forever, for the example that I gave. So hedge your bets and follow the principles of the human body rather than these new exercises and gimmicks and different things. They're going to keep changing forever. You know, we're getting massages, then the foam roller came in, now there's a back baller or something else. That's all stuff that's not backed by science to improve your mobility, but there's new inventions keep coming from it. You know, there's money to be made, it's making money, they're going to keep doing it. Yeah, and what was the last point I said there? Focus on learning the principles. Yeah, I just put in the point that you need to go against what the majority are doing. Like, just think about this for a second, and I thought about this 5 years ago now for mobility and for my life. If you're following the general guidelines that people are doing, like going to chiropractor, osteopath, foam rolling, whatever, what's the results that the average person gets? Not good results. They're tight, they're stiff, they're in pain. That's the majority. So if you follow the average guidelines and things people are already doing, you're going to get the same average results that you don't want. So if you want better results that people aren't getting, you can't do that stuff. You need to do something else. So you have to be doing something else. You can't be doing what the average person is doing, or you're going to get average results. And the quote that I always remembered for that was, if you want to ride the wave, you need to go against the tide. That encapsulates that point there. If you want to eventually ride the wave, get better results than everyone else, you can't be going with the stream. You need to go up against the stream, learn things people don't know, and then start riding the wave going forward. And that's through the stuff that I'm talking about here. So that's what you need to do. That's where following the results comes in as well. And look at those few people that seem to be getting better results. And there's a reason behind it. You know, it's not by chance. There's a reason behind it. So start following them. So that's the line I told myself. What I tell younger Mark is, follow the outliers if you want to emulate them. You know, like, follow the average if you want to be average. Follow the outliers if you want to emulate them. That's what I've done. And look now, so much better progress, mobility, strength, business, everything else. Okay, so there's the 3 takeaways that you can do. I'm going to link the article below as well if you want to go into the 4,000 or 5,000 words. It's fleshed out a lot more on that, so you can read that. The takeaways and stuff are there as well. And yeah, I'll finish up here with a client example, because look, I want to show you it's not just me. There's loads of client examples. I'll bring up like one client example for each of these videos that I'm doing, but the one that I had was Paul. So Paul Morris, he's from Florida. That was pretty cool. You know, whenever I started the online, it was 3-4 years ago. Then it's open to the whole world, I guess, but I've had a few clients from America and from Dubai and different things like that, so that was fucking cool, you know, that you can kind of reach further than Ireland. But anyway, Paul is from Florida, had chronic back pain, got surgery. He's one of those guys, you know, who got the surgery, but it didn't work. You know, he still didn't have his physical freedom, couldn't get back strength training, couldn't play golf like he wanted to as well. I mean, even have things like just getting back pain and stuff day to day, you know, tying your shoes and stuff like that. So, like, that's a concrete example of it, like trying the quick fix thing, like thinking just get a once-off surgery and then, you know, you have your physical freedom back forever, even though your body's adapting and changing after that, you know. So, the long story short with him is, yeah, over what? 6, 7, 8 months? Again, 6, 7, 8 months, not fucking 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 week fixes, 6, 7, 8 months. Yeah, he got his physical freedom back. You know, the back pain started going away for tying the shoes and different things. He could do everyday stuff, and we got him back strength training. So I do have other clients that just strength train, but majority are people like myself trying to get physical freedom back. So got him through that, and eventually got him back strength training on the rings. You know, back, he's a big dude as well, so back feeling really good, really strong from training, and he got back playing golf as well. You know, so I'll put his review in the description as well, and you can read through it for yourself. You know, I'm trying to help you best I can. If you don't want to listen to me, follow the results of the clients. Like, listen to them, read the full review. Every review I have up is very detailed, and you can read the whole thing. So yeah, that was unreal. Look, that's why I'm doing it, for people like Paul, people like the old me, you know, maybe if he didn't come across my page, maybe he'd still, you know, be unable to do the things he wants to do. And that's why I do put up a lot of kind of inspirational content on Instagram, because, you know, he nearly would have given up on it and he just saw my story and was inspired. So you need to take ownership, yes. You need to educate yourself, yes. But before those two things, what you need some inspiration to fucking take action on it, you know. And that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm putting my story out there. It's not easy for me to do that, but I know it's serving the purpose, giving you the inspiration. Then that's going to be the first point of change for you to obviously contact me, and then start your own journey. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully that was useful. Any questions or anything, just pop it in the comments, or else all my socials will be linked. Just pop me a DM on Instagram if you have any questions around any of these stuff. So yeah, I think that's it. We'll leave it there. So don't settle, and we'll talk to you in the next one.